Genshin Impact, as we all know, has a huge department in terms of mysteries. Even now, despite the game being out for over a year, we've barely uncovered any of the unsolved mysteries in this game. Honestly, I could have made this list with 50 or more mysteries, but even then, I feel that's barely even scratching the surface. Anywho, here are 6 mysteries in Genshin still unsolved. But before we begin though, if you enjoy Tevat's Facts and Wisdom, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. After the video is over, join us over in our community Discord server, where we talk all about Genshin, including lore. Okay, with that said, let's open the Tevattionary and see what's been uncovered. Starting off our list of 6 is none other than Alice. At this point, I'm sure you're thinking, come on Tave, you've talked about Alice too many times already on this channel, and you already have an entire video dedicated to her. My young viewer, you will hear me mention Alice at least twice a month, because she is one of my favorite characters in Genshin by far. But we don't really know a lot about Alice's whereabouts, do we? She could be in the Abyss, the Dark Sea, under Klee's nose, or even at the Chasm, which, by the way, is a mystery in itself. I will be doing a video about the Chasm sometime soon. Alice could be anywhere though, and she apparently also has the ability to travel across other worlds. She's also stated to be an amazing alchemist and a near omnipotent sorceress according to Albedo. And yes, I still stand on my top 5 strongest list of her being in number 3. It's the mystery around who she is that in my opinion makes her pretty strong. As usual, let's talk about Alice down below. Something that also baffles me is the fact she tried to make a giant catapult to get up to Celestia. Mind you, she also used hilichurls as her test subjects. This girl is hella bizarre, but it makes me wonder what her true intentions are. And I'm sure a lot of you also feel the same way. Perhaps we may find out more about her once we make our way over to the Land of Scholars. Up next is a mystery I have barely delved into on this channel, being the identity of Child's master, Skirk. On Child's Foul Legacy name card, it states, "Yet his foul legacy was not originally his. Rather, it was taught by him by that solitary girl who dwelt in the darkest corners of the universe." Skirk, like I mentioned, is who Child declared as his master, and from what it seems, is likely the one who taught him combat. From what's listed in Child's backstory, we know Skirk is a very exceptional warrior. Child also states that she could beat him easily, and even beat him with one hand. And this is the same guy who is revered for his strength in the Fatui Harbingers, and was pretty much recruited for his combat prowess. We've seen Child's power demonstrated to us many times. If Skirk can beat Child with one hand, maybe Skirk is one of the most powerful entities in all of Genshin. It is stated she comes from the dark realm of the darkest corners of the universe. Time apparently flows differently there, as 3 months in her realm is equivalent to 3 days in Tevat. We have no idea whether or not she is affiliated with the Abyss, but I have a feeling she is, as do a lot of other people. As of right now, we only know of a few Harbingers being connected to the Abyss. Child, of course, and Pietro from the Pale Flames set, implying he could be from the Abyss. The description kind of sounds a lot like the Cataclysm, implying he could be from Conria. It makes me wonder if any of these individuals could have a connection to Skirk. Who really knows? All I know is that Skirk is powerful, and if I had to guess, I think it could be the female traveler? I'm not sure, but other people seem to have theorized it before. In due time, I will make a video dedicated to Skirk. There are a few more pieces of info though that really intrigue me. For one, we have this piece of text. Perhaps she has something planned for Child. In Child's character demo, Dainsleif states, "There is a dangerous secret to the martial legacy he inherits, but it is one that he even himself does not fully understand." Whatever this dangerous secret is, we have no idea. But ever since he went to the Abyss, he seems to be more battle hungry and always is itching for a fight whenever it suits him. I will throw this Reddit post in the description so you can have more info on that. The city of Mondstadt is known for having some powerful individuals. Some are even esteemed across the land of Tevat as being extremely powerful. Varka is a prime example of this, being the current Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. 6 months ago, before the traveler's journey even starts, Varka is stated to have left Mondstadt with all of its elite forces. Apparently, Varka is really tall, according to Razor. He is known as the Titan of the Knights of Favonius from Child, and Barbara says there's nothing to worry about as long as Varka is leading the expedition. Where has Varka gone with the elite forces of Mondstadt? Could the elite forces of Mondstadt also consist of Alice? I would assume these two know each other without a doubt, and I think we can safely say they are two very strong individuals from Mondstadt. Maybe Varka is Alice's reinforcements. Not a lot is known about Varka, but I hope we have a Mondstadt quest about him soon. I think, personally, we are going to hear more about him once we get to the chasm. Something is happening there, and there is a possibility that he and Alice will be there. It happened a while ago, but back in Liyue, during the final bits of the Archon quest, we find out the god of Geo, Morax, made a contract with the Saritsas in exchange for his gnosis. As we know, Signora just didn't straight up take Zhongli's gnosis like she did with Venti's. A contract was made. Why it was made, though, is a mystery indeed. Zhongli states towards the end of his dialogue after giving up his gnosis, as for the bargaining chip the Saritsas used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys. This implies, eventually down the line, we will find out what it is. If I had to guess now though, maybe it was an easier way for the Saritsas to not have to fight Zhongli. As we all know, Morax is known to be a very powerful Archon, even perhaps being the strongest. Perhaps making a contract with him made the Saritsas' job a little easier, knowing she could not beat him with the power she had at the time. Zhongli is not allowed to share any information in regards to this contract. There are a few possibilities of what the bargaining chip could be, and I think these two seem to be the most compelling reasons. 1. Zhongli could live the rest of his life in peace. And 2, perhaps what the Saritsas offered to Zhongli was protection from Celestia, or any sort of other dangers. I believe one of the stipulations that had to be made in order for this contract to be fulfilled was definitely to see if Liyue could protect itself if Morax gave up his power. He explains that he tested the Adepti and the Qixing, and they exceeded his expectations. Knowing this, Zhongli could now live the remainder of his days in peace, while also letting the people of Liyue manage life themselves. There's also the idea of preserving Zhongli's honor. Think about it. For him to be done in by a Fatui Harbinger would be a really bad way of dishonoring him. By fulfilling his contract, maybe that honor stayed intact. This possibility seems to be a little more obscure though. You guys let me know down below. Also, shoutouts to this Hoyolabs post for explaining the honor aspect. Here's a question that has been asked amongst the Genshin community for quite a while now. What the hell happens in Celestia? There's so much speculation about that place, even theorizing that the one in the sky is fake. People can apparently ascend if they've proved themselves to the divine. We only see a few cases of this between Guhua and Vanessa, one of the biggest heroes in Mondstadt and the Falcon of the West. From what we can see in the webtoon, Vanessa ascends as Venti says some odd things. From there, we see her in Celestia, as she looks up and sees what I think kind of looks like a jail? From what it seems like, Vanessa seems to have turned into a falcon, but where is her actual body? Is she trapped up there? What's going on? Guhua, on the other hand, seems to have just been left in the sky. The Archons are also not allowed to mention anything that has happened in regards to Celestia. Zhongli even mentions he made a contract with them. For all we know, the Sustainer is the fake god, and she's running Celestia now. I have no idea what's going on up there, but feel free to discuss what you guys think down below. Lastly, I want to discuss a mystery that's piqued everyone's interest, and that is, what are the Saritsas' real motives? From what we know, the Saritsas wants to use the power of the Gnosis in order to stop the Divine. But why is this? Did something happen to her? In the Tevat chapter trailers, Dane's speech about the Saritsas describes her as someone who lost all her love for her people, and her people also did the same. This is an interesting line because she was once known as the god of love. I recently saw a theory on Reddit talking about how she could be the princess from the Pale Princess and the Six Pygmies. To sum it up, the theory depicts the Pale Princess as a gentle soul who has fallen in love with someone from Conria, who shared his knowledge of alchemy and technology. This encouraged her to find the kingdom behind the moon, which was in his thoughts Conria, as it led to a nation without the need of a god. Then the writer goes into more detail as to what the Night Mother has to do with it and everything. It's a solid theory. I will leave the Reddit post down below. But essentially, her motives could be because of the actions made from Celestia in regards to the destruction of Conria. she could have also been in love with this Conrian man, and perhaps revenge is what she is seeking. And who knows? Maybe her actions are actually just, and maybe we've been perceiving the Saritsas wrong the entire time. Gnosis and Gnosticism are seen as knowledge, so maybe the Gnosis are the real knowledge that can be used to overthrow the divine. Also makes me wonder where she gets the power to create delusions. It appears to utilize the remains of deceased gods and other powerful beings. They are apparently bestowed upon members of the Fatui Harbingers from the Saritsas herself, but as of now, we see Fatui agents distributing these to loads of people, including during the civil war in Inazuma. They drain the user's energy, but are apparently more powerful than visions. What is this power? How does she get it? That's a mystery in itself we still don't know. Well, those were 6 mysteries in Genshin that are still yet to be solved. What did you guys think? What are some other mysteries you would like for me to discuss on the channel? Let me know your thoughts down below. I can tell you, there are still plenty of mysteries to be solved, and the Tevachinary book has barely even been filled. Speaking of the Tevachinary, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for opening it, and I will see you in the future for more Genshin Impact content and lore.